Reasons for libertarians opposing the war, well, the economic one is the obvious one. I do really believe, though, that many of my libertarian brothers and sisters, many of them do oppose war on the grounds that it kills people. And I mean, the whole mass murder thing, I think, is one of the basics. And if we're going to go trying to change systems and bring a philosophy of peace and freedom, I mean, what kind of freedom can you have if bombs are going over your head or you live in a police state? So this is the issue that needs to be tackled first. When you take some of the best stuff away from that, it still is really, really wonderful to think of each human being as an individual. And that's kind of where the beginning of individual human rights or universal human rights, every person's a human being. And that sort of circles back to, I know people associate Ayn Rand with letting poor people die in the streets, but every bombing is a political crime. Every arrest is a political arrest in some ways. So in some ways, it is kind of my anarcho-objectivism that makes me feel really strongly about not killing people, especially with, soldiers and cops doing it. So it does, I know it seems very weird when some progressives and leftists, though I usually don't find the problems or being a libertarian in the anti-war movement are with progressives or leftists, they're with liberals. Liberals don't seem to warm up to us very well.
You're saying that that's a division within libertarians themselves. Some of them have a moralistic or an empathetic, wow, people are being killed, and others are just sort of strictly like, this is not in my interest.
Both those things can be true at the same time. I mean, it isn't in my best interest to live in an empire or a police state, and I don't want to be implicated in mass murder, which I am every day by taxes. So I mean, it's part of my anti-tax stance too. It's not necessarily, want to see poor people dying in the streets. So I live in Los Angeles, and there is a welfare state, and I still see homeless people in the streets, quite a few. So I'm not sure how everything is working out, but and there's different schools of libertarian thought on this.
The left has a lot of problems too. We appreciate coming together with libertarians. I think coalitions and looking past our petty differences to unite around hating other people's petty differences. Looking past our petty differences and uniting on these issues.